This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Scala is a object-oriented programming language and it is a functional programming language. Scala is an object-oriented programming language and also functional programming language. Okay, let's try to understand what is a object-oriented programming language. Okay, first, I know that most of you are not from the programming language, so there are different type of programming languages like a procedure, object-oriented, and functional. Okay, the procedure is something like a C, uh, earlier basics like photon. There are different kind of programming languages which execute statement by statement from beginning. It follows one structure. The structure is also different, like there will be global variable declaration, then local variable declaration, then so on structure will be there. So it will be following the same structure. It will be execution also with the same structure. But when it comes to the programming language like object-oriented programming language, everything whatever we write, we will write in the form of objects. What is an object? Can anyone tell me what is an object? What is an object?
Instance of a class.
Instance of a class. Okay. What is an object? Anything you consider as an object. Anything, like let's take an example, your laptop, your keyboard, your mouse, your monitor. Object is an entity, a logical or physical entity which has object is an entity. If you anyone want to make a note, please make a note. Object is an entity, or you can say like a physical or logical entity which has state and behavior, which has a state and behavior. What is a state? What is a behavior? What is a state? What is a behavior? State is something like States are something like properties. If I take an example, chair is my object. Chair has some properties. It has it has a legs. If it has a wheels, it has a wheels. Okay, it's a width and height. It's a length. These are all comes under as a properties. We can call them as a state. We can call them as a state. So what these states with help what the states will help us with the states of this, what we can do, states of this, we can uh, change the values, or with these properties we will be having some kind of understanding. Okay, the height of this chair is this, it has a four legs, it is the length of this, its a width is this. So we will get some kind of what I can say, a proper or attributes for that object. When it comes to the behavior, a behavior is a functions. It has functions in it. Functions in it. What are the functionalities chair can do? We can hold anything, or color. No, color also it comes as a property. Yeah, fall, move, or whatever it is. Yeah. So if you want to create an object, if you want to create an object, we should have some kind of measurements, or if you want to create a chair, you need some measurements, and you need some prototype, right? That prototype is nothing but your class. That prototype is nothing but your class. Understand, guys? Are you able to follow? What is an object, Suganta?
It is a physical or logical entity which actually exhibits some states and its own behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So state ideally nothing but it represents the properties of the object whichever we represent, and the
Mm-hmm.
behavior is actually the functionalities of the particular object whichever we have taken into account.
Yes. So a class is something like a template or a prototype from where we will create a set of objects, or we can create multiple objects, or we can create single object, right? So it means in your programming language, whatever you declare or whatever you use, if they're considering as an objects, or if your programming language is supports, there are four properties. Oops, we'll call them as oops, the four major properties. Those are those are those are inheritance, or you can write it in another order. Abstraction, you can write in another order. Abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, and what is the other one? What's the other one, guys? Encapsulation. If any of the programming language, if any one of the programming language or any of the programming language supports these four, we'll call as a pillar, four pillars of oops. If suppose supports these four functionalities, we will call them as a object oriented programming language. We'll call them as a oops. Okay, we'll talk about one by one later. Okay, so first just start. Okay, coming to the functional programming language. So far we discussed about this oops, right? Like which has the object and class and some of the pillars of or four properties of the oops programming language. Now, functional programming language. Can anyone tell me what is a functional programming language? It's very simple, guys. Whatever you write is considering as a function. Is considering as a function. You may doing um, up. I mean, I can say like operation, or like a plus operation, or subtraction, multiplications, or any other arithmetic operations, or if you are declaring um, any variable, if they are considering as a function, if they're considering as a function, we'll call that kind of language, we can call it as a functional programming language. We call them as a functional programming language. For example, Scala. Some people call Scala, some people call Scala. Scala. Let's see how we will start our Scala function. Actually, the Scala program, the Scala language will work on top of JVM. Now we need to understand one, one kind of most important feature. Scala does not have its own interpreter. It does not have its own execution. It's on top of JVM. So that's the reason whenever you install Scala, whenever you want to install Scala, you should have a Java is installed. You should have a Java should installed. Okay, so Scala has been introduced in 2004 actually. So it was there from 2004. Okay, so it was using along with the .NET framework those days, if I remember correctly. And till 2012, they were supporting with Microsoft. They're supporting with the Microsoft. Later, what Scala did from 2012 onwards, it stopped supporting the .NET framework. It stopped supporting the .NET framework.
This is new. I don't know.
Yeah. So it was introduced by the guy called Martin Wodersky. Martin, Martin, Martin Wodersky, Odersky, Wodersky. He was actually one of the developer of Java. He was one of the developer of the Java. So that time only he was introduced, I think, interpreter. When he was working on interpreter, then he got an idea Java interpreter. So he want to develop a new programming language which actually works like which supports programming object-oriented and functional programming language. So it was there quite a long time, but we haven't recognized it like Java. The reason behind it, um, there was very less users or less requirement for this kind of framework. At it was actually inspired by there is a programming language called Haskell, I think Haskell, H-A-R Haskell. There was a Haskell, Haskell, and there is something called Pizza, Haskell and Pizza, yeah, Pizza, Pizza. These were like a pure functional programming languages, like scripting languages. So from there they have been inspired, and he started writing it. Now why it is becoming very much popular, the reason behind it is big data. I can say big data is one of the reason, because the most important or most powerful tool, Spark, has been developed using Scala. The most powerful execution engine has been developed using Scala. If you see the source code of the Scala, source code of the Spark framework, it was Scala. Okay. Scala also, I can tell a feature. Scala also a kind of strongly typed programming language. Strongly typed programming language. What is strongly typed? What is non-typed? What is typed and what is non-typed? People may ask an interview. Please make a note of this. What is a typed programming language? Can anyone tell me what is a typed programming language? Can anyone tell me what is a typed programming language? Very simple, guys. Suppose if I have declared a variable, or if I have assigned a value to a variable, I have declared a variable, or if I have assigned a variable, what will happen? Whatever the value you have assigned to that variable will turn into that data type. Let's take an example. I have a variable called n. I have a variable called n. Now n equal to some number I have assigned 100 or 10. So now this n will become number type. This n will become number type. You cannot assign character or string type in it, or you cannot assign string type in it. You cannot assign a string type in it. After once you assign a value, to that number or a variable, it converts to that type. When you try to assign other type of variable like a string or something, it cannot take. It says that I am a number type. But if you go with a programming language like a Python or some other programming language, in line 1 you can say n equal to 10. In line 5 or 6 or second line itself, you can say n equal to some name, n equal to in double quote Scala or Python. You can do that. It means it is not typed. It is not typed. Java also typed programming language. It's the most important, guys. People may ask an interview. Strongly static typed or strongly typed, you can type. Strongly static typed.
So Veera, so whatever value they're assuming to a variable in Scala or Java, it cannot be changed throughout the program. Is that right?
You cannot assign other value. Suppose if you declare n equal to 10, after second line or third line, you can say n equal to 11, n equal to 100, n equal to 200, like that. You can assign the
Mhm.
same number type.
Okay.
Okay. You cannot assign n equal to like a text or whatever the example is written. Text
Okay.
or Scala or Python, like that you cannot type. You cannot change the type. It is a
Mhm.
static type. It's a typed
Okay.
language. When it comes to the
Okay.
dynamic languages like a Python, programming language like a Python, what they have, if you declare a variable n equal to 10, after second line or third line onwards, you can say n equal to some string.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So Scala can be used web applications, or it can be used in um, some kind of expressions. Scala, like a Java used for mobile applications. It can use for enterprise applications, or it can use for desktop applications, like that. It's Scala also will be used for web applications. Scala can be used for data analysis purpose with the help of Spark. With the help of the Spark, kind of batch processing we can do. Streaming we can do. Batch process, streaming. Okay. Yeah. So these are all about Scala. Let's let's start a small program. Let's start the small program to discuss more about. Okay. To answer the another question, why Scala? Why Scala? Can anyone tell why Scala? Can anyone tell why Scala? So because Scala, we are using Spark, so because of that, so in Scala, it is a, I can say, inference. Scala is type inference. Scala is type inference, and it is immutable. I'll explain what is the type inference. And it's also immutable. It's also immutable. It has a higher order functions. It has a higher order functions. It is a singleton. It is a singleton. It has something called what is that? Uh, multi-threading. Actually, concurrency, we can say. It has a concurrency control. And it's also lazy computation. And there are some other features, like it has a case classes, it has a pattern matching, other things are there. Let's talk about what is a type in inference. If you take any other programming language like a C, C++, or any other programming language, when you are declaring a variable, you should declare a data type, what type of value you are assigning into it. You should declare what type of value you are going to assign it. So it means that you have to declare the data type. What type of value you are going to assign, that you have to specify. So when it comes to Scala, you really no need to specify any data type. Scala, what it does, like when you are assigning a value, when you assign a value, based on that value, it will change its data type. Okay. And also, if you write a function, right, you really no need to specify any return or any return type you have to specify. It automatically recognizes it. In case of functions, the last expression, the last line of expression in the function will be considered as a return. And return type also it automatically recognizes. Return type also it automatically recognizes. So here, the most of the efforts has been reduced. Sir, what is advantage of the type inference? Very simple advantage, I can tell you. There are so many exceptions, you might have heard about it. Class cast exception, type not supported exception. Have you guys heard about these exceptions anytime in the Java programming language? Sometimes we will be declaring one type and we will be returning other type, so it will throw an exception. I cannot cast it. I cannot convert it. And also, sometimes we will be having a doubt what type of uh, data I need to return. So what type I need to declare? That's a big question. But Scala avoids that actually. You really no need to worry about the type you are going to return. So you just go ahead and write your function, or you just go ahead and assign a value. Based on that, it will get assigned. And also don't think that since it is automatically recognizing the data type, and don't think that it's a dynamically typed. It's not dynamically typed, it's a static typed only. So once, so you assign the value till you assign the value, it will be some other type. As soon as you assign the type, or as soon as you assign the value, it will be the life of that variable will be in the same type. It will not change. Once you assign the variable, once you assign the value to that variable, complete, that will be in the same type entire the life of that variable in the program. Okay. And immutable. It has a immutability. What is immutable? Can anyone tell me? The immutable is a very common word we have seen in other programming languages also. In Scala also we have, sorry, in Java also we have immutability. Can anyone tell me why? What is immutable? Once you create an object, once you create an object, if you try to modify, it will not get modified. Once you try to modify, it will not modify. Whatever the variable you declared, they are immutable by default. Whatever the variable you declare, immutable by default. And what happens every time, right? It it creates a new object. Whenever you try to modify, it creates a new object instead of modifying the existing one. It will create a new object. It will create a new object instead of modifying the existing one. Okay, we can also declare the mutable objects. We can also declare the mutable objects. So try to remember that. Like we have some set of collections actually. Default set of collections are there. That by default they are immutable. We can also have the mutable collections. So that's my intention. And what is the advantage of immutability? Can anyone tell me what is the advantage of the immutability? Thread safety, right? Thread safety only, no? Thread safety, or we can call as a concurrency control, or we can call concurrency control. Okay, there is something called Akka in this, but I'm also not expertise in that Akka area. But we'll discuss about that if it's required later. But I'm not actually that much, I can say, great familiar with this concurrency. Akka is there. Akka actually it is a um, mm, kind of a thread model. I think I'm thinking it's kind of framework where multi-threaded. I'm thinking, not sure. Okay. There are some other string interpolation. There are some lazy computation, case clusters, pattern matching, string interpolation, case class, pattern matching, and these are the different kind of functions. Features are there. Okay, let's write a simple program first, then we will very simple program, and we'll see what is happening in backend. Can you take a new file? Gonna take a new file. Okay. Here in in Scala, if you want to run any program, we'll actually start from object. We'll actually start from object. Okay. For classes also we can use, but in other program like Java, we'll start class in that main method and all those. But here, when it comes, it will start with object. Yeah, give me control, Venki. I'll just do that. Object first Scala program. So here actually we can make use of the extending the apps. There is something called extending apps. When you extend the apps, you really no need to specify the main method, but we will go with um, the normal programming language. We really don't want to do that one. So we have a comments in this programming language also. Slash slash double slash is a single line comments, and you have multi-line comments also. Multi-line comments will start with this and with this. How many lines you write in this? It will be multi-line comment. The above one is single line. This is multi-line comment. Okay. So you have declared an object. Inside that, we have to declare a main method. So in other programming languages, if you want to declare a main method, you will be having one structure. The structure is access type, then return value, or any there are different access type and access modifiers, and you have a return type, then method name, then any arguments in the method. We will declare in that way. But when it comes to the Scala, we will say def, defining. Def is nothing but defining. Def main. So in here also, in the main method, it accepts array of strings. Why array of strings, I'll explain that later. When you are compile and running the program, while running the program you can give the variables. While running the program you can give the variables. Like a script, you might have seen shell script or other programming language. You will pass some parameters, runtime arguments. We will call them as a runtime arguments. When you want to pass a runtime argument, so I cannot have a fixed number. If I don't have array here, you can pass only one or two values, or if you declare two variables, two values. If you declare one variable, one values. Suppose I want to pass randomly, dynamically, so one run I can pass two, another run I can pass 10, another run so if you want to do that, you should have array of elements. That's the reason we have array. Ox colon, actually here the data types represents with a colon, not before the variable. Array, inside the array, what type of variables you will be accepting? String type. What type of variables we are accepting? String type. So we declare string. Look at the syntax, guys. The same syntax only we will be using entire uh, all the entire sessions in whenever declaring the main method, like this only. And also, you really no need to define any data type, but if you want explicitly say that no, I'm not going to return anything, you can specify unit. You can specify unit. You can declare like this. You can declare like this. It means you are not specifying any, you are not returning any value. Unit means kind of void. Unit means kind of void. You are not returning anything. Okay. So inside that main method, yeah, Venki, you can take control now. Go to the inside of main method. Type println println in brackets. You can welcome to my first program or something like that. Welcome to Spark Scala session. Yeah. Save this program with an extension. Save this program with an extension Scala. Most of the cases, what will do, your object name and your program name should be same. I'll show you what will happen if I give the different also. You have to be your object name and program name also should be same. Okay, save it. Now go to that location, open your terminal and go to that location where you have declared. Yeah. How to compile a program in other programming language like a Java? Similarly, we'll compile here, but instead of Java C, we will use Scala C. Scala C and the file name. Try to remember, guys, the syntax. Scala C file name. What is your file name? First Scala program is your file name. Press enter. If everything goes fine, it will compile and it will create a dot class files. You can see a back screen, a background screen, not on the terminal. It will create a two class files. I'll explain why it created two class files later. Try to remember. It creates the two class files. Normally, it should create only one class file. It created two class files. One is with a dollar, another one is without dollar. Or you can open and see the both the files also. I don't think you can view until unless you have a JAD. You can try to open that. Right click and open with the text editor or something. Choose your text editor. It's a completely binary code. Okay, close it. Other one also will be the same, so you will not be able to see anything. Okay, close it. I'll tell you why both two class files, why we need two class files. That I'll explain later. Now you have compiled the code. Now you need to run the program. You have compiled the code. Now we need to run the program. How will you run the program? Very simple. Scala. Now the class name. Now the class name. Class in the sense your object name. What is your object name in the program? First Scala program. That was your object name. Press enter. Welcome to Spark Scala session. So it was only println statement we were having, so it is printed. It's only one println statement we were having is printed. Now go back to your program file. I mean, you can create one more file actually. Yeah, create a new file. You can copy paste the code there. Same code you can copy paste. Now give the different file name, or you can give that object name also. Just change the object name. Object name is test. You can change. Not here. Go back. Cancel it. Yeah, test. Always try to remember the object name or class name should start with a capital letter. Okay. You save it a different name. Don't save with the test. Save with a different name. Yeah. You have saved with the program.scala. So now will it work or not? Because our object name is different and file name is different. It will work. The only difference is while compiling you should give the file name. While running you should give the object name. That's it. Yeah, it successfully run. I mean compile, not run. Now run. Now run. Scala. Give the object name. Test is your object name. Test. Yeah, just run it. Okay. So no problem if you give a different class name, object name and different file name while you are not using any IDE. While you are not using any IDE. In IDE also you can have, but when you try to run in IDE, it will not work properly. It cannot recognize. That is the reason we are if we are using IDE. IDE means what is IDE? Interactive Development Environment, right? IDEs, Scala IDE, Eclipse IDE, Spring Boot IDE, IntelliJ IDE, NetBeans IDE. These are the tools. Eclipse, Scala IDE, Spring Boot, IntelliJ. They all comes under IDEs. When you're using these IDs, right, what will happen? What will happen? You will type the code. When you try to run, it will try to first it will compile and run the program. While it compiles good, it will go ahead and compile. But while running, it will not be able to it will not able to recognize the your object name because it always remember the file name. So since when you're using this kind of IDs, that's the reason we should always make sure that you will use the file name and object name will be same. That's the only reason. Okay, it doesn't mean that your file name cannot be different from your object name. It can be. Okay, your file name and your object name can be different. Yeah. So any doubts so far? So I'm going to introduce something new, some other point now. So if you guys have any doubts, please ask me.
Mira, in case if there are multiple objects we are creating in a single program,
Hmm.
so in order to do that, we will need to individually mention their object names, right, while running. So we cannot run all that at a time if
Okay.
our file name is different, correct?
See, within the same file, if you are declaring a multiple objects, you can declare a multiple objects. How many objects are there? Those many class files will be created. Okay. How many objects are there? Those many. Yeah. Just do that experiment, Venki. You can create one. Let it be. Yeah. Create one more object, but don't declare the main method in it. Or you can say, let it be the main method also. The print statement, you say that two. Save this file, compile and run this file. Try this kind of experiments at home. Okay. So which actually gives you the more. So you look at there, how many objects are created? For how many objects are there? Those many class files has been created. Now, whichever the class you call while running, say two. Whichever the class you call while running, or whichever the object you call while running, that will get run.
So
Understand,
are there
Sumanta?
any ways? Yes, yes, got it. Mira. So are there any ways to execute all the objects at the time, Mira?
How it is possible, ma? It is not possible, right? You cannot
Okay.
you cannot have multiple runnable objects. The first thing is the writing code itself is wrong. Okay, no one will have the two executions in same file. Okay, first of all, having this kind of thing is wrong. But no, still it supports since your file name is different. But if you try to do the same thing in ID, it will actually will not allow. But even though it compiles successfully, while running it through an error. It's
Okay.
compiles successfully, but while running it through error. Which class you want me to pick, or which object you want me to pick? We have to tell explicitly. Here we have a control which object I need to run. So that's a I'm having control here, but there I don't have a control.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, just me. Connect you. Power button. Okay. If no doubts, let's move to open the terminal. We're going to execute a small program, small hands-on with REPL. We will do that in the REPL. What is REPL? I'll show you what is REPL. Like kind of a shell kind of thing. Open your window. Other window, I think you already started. Yeah, you can exit. Yeah, you just type Scala, but no, if you just type Scala, you should come like this. To come like this, what should no? You should have set the class path for your Scala installation. If you didn't set the class path for your Scala installation, if you type Scala, it will not come like this. It will not come. The reason behind it, it cannot recognize what is Scala. Okay, for that, what you need to do, you have to go to the path, then there you have to do Scala. Scala is just like a kind of a script you are calling. Okay, when you call this, you'll get this kind of shell, this kind of prompt, like a hive, pick, shell, such kind of things you'll get, or SQL prompt or something, right? You'll get this kind of thing. Now, here, you really no need to write a main method. You can write objects, you really no need to write a main method. You can directly go ahead and execute. Let's do one thing. Declare, yeah, just go with the println. Yeah, go with the println. Println, welcome to Scala ID or Scala REPL. Scala REPL. REPL. Yeah, press enter. It'll execute. I declare a variable where a equal to 10. Press enter. Where b equal to. You guys can recognize the data type there. I didn't make in the where a equal to 10. I said I didn't declare any data type. But when you execute it, it's automatically recognize the data type and it shown the data type. Now if I say a plus b, c equal to a plus b, or where c equal to a plus b, it directly executes the operation and also printed the value. Here everything is an object. Try to remember that, guys. Everything is an object. Even declaring a variable, declaring a function, declaring operation, everything in an object. That's the reason Scala is a purely object-oriented programming language, whereas Java is not. But you know, Java also purely object-oriented programming language. Some people point out that we have primitive data types, but here there is no primitive data types. Everything is an object. You are seeing int, that's also an object. That is also an object. Okay.
10 and 20, those values are also objects, right?
Those values are also object. Now let me show you one simple thing. So you did a plus b, right? I will do it in a different way. A dot plus, or you really no need to, if you don't know a plus, remove that, remove plus also. Yeah, I want to show this. Look at here. It is showing a function. Plus is actually considering as a function. It was an operator and it also has a function accordingly. It also has a functions, different functions. Function overloading. You can see function overloading here. Function overload is nothing but same name, different arguments. Function name is same. Here the function name is plus. Here the function name is plus, but different arguments. Different argument. First one is sort, second one is string, third one is char, fourth one is double, fifth one is float, sixth one is int, seventh one is byte, other one is long. So different function, different arguments. The function name is same but the different argument types. Okay, so you can do like that. Press enter. You got 30. 10 plus 20, 30. That's assigned to variable. Okay, res, that's done by the REPL. So now res1 you can make use anywhere. So you can say println. You can say println. You can just say res1. It will print 30. Okay, so default variable. That's only happens in the REPL, not in the other your program. Okay. Okay, so uh, that's it for now. So let's see, let's connect in the next session. We will see in data types and difference between the var and val. We will see those things in the next session. So don't miss tomorrow's session, and also make sure that everyone has a setup. So because we will be doing the programming. Okay. Any questions? Any questions?
Ravi, I'm Revati. Actually,
Yeah,
last
tell me.
couple of sessions I was not able to attend because of my project work and some production
Okay.
migration. I will just go through the videos. You have put those videos in the share, right? The share drive, right?
All of them are there. I think last session was not there. It looks so. Whichever
Okay.
is not there, I'll upload. Today only I'll
Okay.
upload.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I will take a look and maybe if I have some questions, we can discuss. Maybe I will just
Sure.
put all the questions.
Sure, ma. You can.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah. I will check that what are things are missed so far, and I'll upload. I'll upload right away. It looks it's there till 20. Okay, 21 and 22. Two videos are missed. It looks. Okay. I'll upload the both of them. Okay. Any questions apart from that? Okay. That's it for now. So since it's the first session, so I don't want to dump more content. So let's connect tomorrow. From tomorrow we will be seeing more things. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Have a wonderful day. Let's connect in the tomorrow session. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you.